Hi guys, it's Joseph here and welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'll be talking you guys through the Game Week 3 watch list, which players you should be keeping an eye on, and not only for this game week, but for the upcoming game weeks. So the first player I think you guys should be keeping an eye on is Rodrigo Moreno. Now, look, Leeds will go into that brilliant fixture run around game week 4. Starting game week 4, they have that brilliant fixtures till they have brilliant fixtures, and you could say it's until around game week 11 and 12 where their fixtures quite get tougher. Now, Brighton, Everton, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, United, Aston Villa and Crystal Palace in the next few fixtures. Now they play Chelsea at home this week, but if you have a player like a Liam Bailey and you're planning to play Liam Bailey, you could bring in Rodrigo and put him on your bench. Now, first, is it worth paying 0.6 more for 0.6 more than Aronson for Rodrigo? I definitely think that it is, because Rodrigo, his stats are way better than Aronson, and looking at the stats, 4.606 shots in the box per 90, so it's an average. Expected points per 90 is 8.65, expected goals per 90 is 0.8, expected assists per 90 is 0.45, and touches in the box per 90 6.39. So he's taking quite a few touches in the box, a lot of shots in the box, and if you look at his heat map, he's taking a lot of touches around that penalty box and taking a lot of shots there. So definitely a player to keep an eye for. A low ownership, and he could go under the radar for a lot of managers, but for 6.1, I think he offers great value. And if you're considering a 6.1 midfielder, I definitely recommend you buying Martinelli before going for a player like Rodrigo. But if you already have Martinelli and have a spot for another mid-price midfielder, Rodrigo Moreno, you should be keeping an eye on. And if you have a strong bench, you could go for him early on this week. Next is Pascal GroB, and look, I'm considering buying him because not only he offers great underlying data, looking at those stats is brilliant. 0.65 expected goals per 90. Now, he is playing that centre attacking mid position for Brighton, and he played it against Newcastle. But for Man United, it was a weird formation for Brighton. They played a 3-3-3-1, I believe, and he played in the second layer, you could say a central midfielder during that game. But of course, it was a tougher game then, and now when they're playing teams like Newcastle, West Ham, Leeds and Fulham and Everton and Leicester, we could see him playing in the centre attacking mid position. And if he's playing there, he could look very dangerous. And look, again, his underlying data is brilliant. I really recommend you guys going for him, because Pascal GroB, he's on my watch list, and for 5.6 mil, he offers great value, and his stats are way better than Anthony Gordon, Aronson. So look, 5.6, he did just go up in price, and he will look to go up in price again. He offers great value, and I'm definitely keeping an eye for him. His stats are brilliant, the fixtures will get better and are really very good for Brighton, so definitely a player to keep an eye on. Next, we do have Ilkay Gundogan. Now, Gundogan, a brilliant player, and he just got announced the captaincy, so he is officially Manchester City's captain. And with Bernardo Silva rumored to leave the club, going to Barcelona, I definitely see Gundogan getting that nailed-on position in that Man City team. He offers great value at 7.5. Now, a lot of people might argue saying that it's just worth paying 0.5 more for a player like Foden and just saving 0.5 on a player like Grealish. But we don't know what is going to happen in the front line. You have players like Julian Alvarez, Mahrez, Foden and Jack Grealish fighting for that two winger spots. So definitely a lot of competition. And for Ilkay Gundogan, he has less competition, and he's already announced the club captain. That could be a massive statement, and that maybe he's getting his place back, and getting into his form like the 2021 season, where, if you guys remember, he went on a massive great run to get a lot of points. So he could be back, and he's just announced the club captain. City, as usual, have a great run of fixtures. His stats look quite good, and for 7.5, I definitely think you guys should be considering Ilkay Gundogan. And next, we do have Danny Welbeck. Now, the Brighton player, I'm talking a lot about Brighton players because, of course, Brighton are going into a great run of fixtures. They did have two tough games at the start, but they are going to a run where they have great fixtures now. So West Ham, Leeds, Fulham and Leicester, definitely fixtures to target. Poor defense, all of these teams. And Danny Welbeck, he did look really well against Manchester United. You know, he was making those runs behind. He was causing a lot of trouble for Manchester United. And definitely a player to target. But the thing is, his finishing ability is very poor. He's not a great finisher, but he is that type of player to go into a great attacking position and maybe not as good as a finisher as other players. So he's making that great runs, making good positionings, but he's not that good of a finisher. So just keep an eye on. It could be frustrating to watch, you know, Danny Welbeck getting into a great position but not able to finish those points. Now, looking at the stats, it just says it all. 7.04 touches in the box, meaning that he's taking a lot of touches in the box and he's not converting them. Now, he did get one goal against Manchester United, I believe, but of course, he could have got a lot more. He did had a lot of chances in the game and he should have got a lot more. Now, low ownership, 6.5, a great mid-price forward. Now, if you guys have Mitrovic in your team, I would recommend considering going for Danny Welbeck, or even if you have that open slot for forward, going for Danny Welbeck could be an option. Now, last season, forwards were not as valuable than this season, but they are just coming to show that forwards could be a great option this season, and a lot of people went for the third forward slot as a 4.5 mil forward, and I don't disagree with you guys, because at the start of the season we were thinking of forwards won't be that offer that great of value, but this season they look to show they offer great value. But again, it's how you get Danny Welbeck. If you really want him and you have to spend 3 transfers to bring him in, I don't recommend going for him, because Danny Welbeck for hit isn't that great, but Danny Welbeck for a free transfer looks great. And I assume a lot of people have one premium forward and have Gabriel Jesus, and if you have a second forward slot open and you don't have Gabriel Jesus, I definitely recommend going for Gabriel Jesus first. But if you have a third spot and you're going to consider Danny Welbeck, or you have a third slot open for another forward, Danny Welbeck is one to keep an eye for. Next we have Kiefer Moore, and another forward, and it again, a lot of their players on this watch list will be forwards because they offer great value. And for 5.5, Kiefer Moore is playing as a striker for Bournemouth. It's not Solanke. Solanke did get benched against Man City in the second game, and Kiefer Moore was the starting striker. So it says a lot. For 5.5, it's easier to go for Kiefer Moore than to go for Danny Welbeck, Ivan Toney, these kind of players, because he's only cheaper and he only costs 1 mil to upgrade your 4.5 mil forward. Now, Kiefer Moore, not the ideal fixtures for Game 3 and for Game 4. They play Arsenal and Liverpool, which are solid teams. But then when you look at those fixtures, during Game 5 and 12, they just go on that brilliant run to play quite weak defenses. So definitely a player to target in the upcoming weeks, but he could go early on Kiefer Moore and he could get that out goal against Arsenal and Liverpool. Definitely not a player to start for Game 3 and 4, but definitely a player to keep an eye on. And if you are going to bring him in your team for Game 5, definitely you should look to consider to start him. His stats isn't that great, but what are you going to expect for 5.5 mil forward? Guaranteed minutes every single week, and Kiefer Moore looks a brilliant option for 5.5. Lastly, we do have Mbeumo. Now, Mbeumo, the Brentford forward, 6 mil, cheaper than Toney by 0.1, and he's playing that winger role. He played right wing in the opening game of the season for Brentford, but in the game against United, Brentford did go to a back 5, and Mbeumo played up front with Toney. So they did shift information during that run, and we could see against those tougher opponents, we could see Mbeumo playing as a striker. But usually against these weak teams, we could see Mbeumo play as a winger. And for 6 mil, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. But I just don't see people, why not just pay that 1 mil for Toney? But if you don't have money and you're short of money, Mbeumo offers great underlying data and definitely a great second option to Ivan Toney. So guys, that wraps up for another video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a list of players that you should be considering watching, keeping an eye on, and definitely considering to buy in the upcoming weeks. My team selection will be out around Thursday and Friday, so keep So make sure to stay tuned for that. And it's been me, Jess FPR, and I'll see you guys in